So I'm curious to know when I talk to homeowners, I always ask them one question. Do you know who's fixing your roof currently? Not their company name, not the sign on the truck. I mean, like, do you actually know if the person that is doing your roof is qualified? And this usually comes up when they say, I've got a contractor, yada, yada. Because the reason being, in the state of Texas, the honest answer might actually surprise you. And you see, I bring this up because anyone, and yes, I mean anyone, can call themselves a roofer in the state of Texas because no license is required, no training is required, no registration with the state, nothing. So today, I'm going to go and pull back the overall curtain on one of the most misunderstood acronyms in the Texas roofing world, and that's RCAT. And most importantly, we're going to talk about why the state of Texas has overall failed to protect you as a homeowner. You see, this is a video about the real truth, and I think it needs to be said, and I think it needs to be heard. So what is RCAT? You see, RCAT, it's an acronym that stands for Roofing Contractors Association of Texas. And from my understanding, it's a professional trade organization founded, honestly, decades ago that represents roofing and waterproofing contractors across the state. It sets industry standards, promotes ethics, offers education, and advocates for the roofing trade in Texas as well as in Texas legislature. On paper, that sounds great. And to be fair, RCAT does do really great things. They run a licensing program, they lobby for consumer protection, and their members are generally more accountable than the guy with obviously no affiliation at all. But here's what most people don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So RCAT membership is completely voluntary. So RCAT licensing is completely voluntary as well, and the state of Texas mandates, honestly, none of it. So when a homeowner Googles, is this roofer legit, and sees the RCAT member, that's a good sign, but it's not the whole story, nor does it mean that this roofer is licensed within the state of Texas. So let's go and break down what it actually takes to join RCAT, because I think that's important to know. And it's important to understand how to qualify overall for an RCAT membership. So I'll break it down for you. To become an RCAT member contractor, honestly, here's what you need. So first and foremost, your business must have been in roofing or in Texas for at least 1 year. You need a sponsor. One existing RCAT contractor member and one association member can be that sponsor in order to vouch for you. You need to provide proof of general liability insurance, I believe like $300,000 for residential work, and your application will then go to a board of directors for an overall monthly review. That's pretty much it for the basic membership. Congratulations, you're in. You can list yourself on the directory, you can use the logo, and you can market yourself as an RCAT member. Notice what's not on that list though. There's no roofing exam, there's not a background check, there's not a minimum number of the completed jobs, any verification that you're actual roofing at a level. Now, they do one good thing. RCAT does offer a separate licensing program, and that program is significantly more rigorous to get the RCAT license. You need to have owned or managed the roofing company for at least 3 years. You need credited references, business references, good financial responsibility. You have to pass a technical exam covering residential and commercial roofing knowledge, plus business and safety with a score of 70% or more. So there's some guidelines there that really help you to understand if you're a legitimate, amazing business. And then it runs a small fee. I believe it's like $450 for RCAT members, and then it's like $750 if you're not a member. So it's a great program. That means something, but again, it's just completely optional. Most Texas roofers, pretty much all, don't even have it. So RCAT in itself, it's just basically a representation, but it's not an overall guarantee. So to you, the homeowner, where does this leave you? And here's, precisely how I want you to think about it. So RCAT, it's a membership. It's a credibility signal among multiple different signals. It means the contractor cared enough to join a profession or organization. It means they have some insurance. It means that they have some type of credibility, just enough to join the overall club. That matters, but don't dismiss it. You see, because RCAT membership alone does not tell you whether they've ever done a quality roof, whether that the crew themselves are trained at a high level, whether they've been in business for months or years or whatnot.
it doesn't really tell the full story. Look, I'm an RCAT, think it's great, but a smart homeowner uses RCAT just as a specific tool within their toolbox to log something similar like BBB, Google reviews, manufacturers that they can lean on, overall references, and then just conversations with the contractor to feel comfortable. To me, RCAT is a floor, but not a ceiling. You see, a good roofer is not an RCAT member, might be exceptional. A bad roofer who is an RCAT member can still take your money and leave you with an overall problem. Does that make sense? So you see, the system itself has limits, and the reason it is the limits go much deeper than RCAT itself. So let's go ahead and talk about the reason why RCAT even is a thing, because there's no license in Texas for roofers. So let's talk why there's no license in Texas. Here's a part in this overall story that honestly generally pisses me off. It frustrates me. And I think once you hear it, it'll probably frustrate you too. You see, in the state of Texas, your hairdresser, can you believe it, has a freaking license. Your interior designer has a license. Your manicure, the people who do your manicure, has a license. But the person replacing the structure over your head, your roof, over your number one asset, probably your most expensive asset, nothing. And look, this is not an accident. It is not an oversight. It is actually the result of decades of legislature that has been killed over and over and over again at the Texas Capitol. Since at least like 1997, lawmakers have tried to fix this. Bill after bill, session after session. They've even tried these mandatory licensing. They've even tried simple registration, just a name and address on a particular file. They've even tried contractor database that homeowners should go and look up to assure that the contractor did have some sort of licensing. And every major effort overall even failed. Even last session it failed. You see, Texas is the only Gulf Coast state without roofing consumer protection. You see, Louisiana has one, Mississippi has one, Florida has one, but Texas, which sits in the heart of Gale Alley, which absorbs storm after storm after storm every year, does not have a roofing license. So let's go and talk about the elephant in the room. Who is voting all of these bills down? What organization? So the opposition has come from multiple directions, believe it or not. And one of the most vocal is an organization called the Texas Independent Roofing Contractors Association. Now, they have themselves argued that licensing bills are bad for business, that licensing overall is a barrier to entry and it hurts overall competition, that it is a de facto monopoly for big established players. Can you believe that? On the floor of the Texas House in 2019, the opposition ran what legislators describe as a whispering campaign, spreading the claim that the overall roofing registry would target Hispanic laborers. You see, this overall bill's representative, Representative Giovanni, he described it as the hill we were trying to climb. And this is just nonsense to me. You see, the registry wouldn't have required any information about individual laborers. It was about the business owners. But fear works. And guess what? The bill overall is bad. And there's another layer here. You see, Texas has a strong political culture around limiting government regulation and protecting business freedom. You see, those are legitimate values. But when the result is the scam artists can legally operate in your neighborhood after every hailstorm, at some point the ideology is costing real people real money. And it drives me absolutely insane.
RCAT has actually been one of the biggest supporters of these bills. They've pushed session after session for consumer protection legislation, and sadly, they've just been outvoted, outmaneuvered, and outlasted every single time. So I like to talk about the real cost of no regulation. Now, let's get real nitty-gritty here. Let's talk about what it actually looks like on the ground. You see, after every major storm in Texas, hail in Dallas, hurricane in Houston or Beaumont, flooding big time in Southeast Texas, two things happen simultaneously. You see, homeowners desperately need roofing help, and contractors flood in from all over the country, many of them completely unvetted. And you see, these are the ones that are knocking on your door within 48 hours of a storm. They've got these huge promises. They've got quick estimates. They'll handle your insurance. Sometimes they ask for a deposit up front, and they talk about everything that they've done, and they're not even local. Shoot, they probably offer a taillight warranty. And then some of them overall, like I said, they disappear. They take your deposit, They have the overall control of your insurance claim, leaving behind pretty much nothing, or a roof that wasn't even done right. And so what's the kicker? You see, under current Texas law, you have very limited resource because there was no license to revoke, no state registration to pull, and in many cases, no way to even find them. Where did they go? Where are they now? And who are they? You see, a Dallas attorney named Stephen Badger spent 2 years researching this overall problem. He represented insurance companies and saw hundreds of North Texas victims who lost money to roofing scammers. He said enough is enough. He helped write a bill that would have simply passed to the ability to require roofers to register their name and their address, like plumbers, electricians, HVAC contractors. All of these services already do this. And all he asked for was a small fee of $250. That's it, just to tell us who you are. And guess what? You guessed it, it didn't pass. So, leads me to the next thing. What would a real license do, and what would it change? So, what could actually happen if Texas required a roofing license? You see, we have what we call the NASCLA. It gives us 18 licenses in 18 states. But here in Texas, if we had that, the first thing that would happen was bad actors would not be able to operate. The ones who show up after storms with no insurance, no training, no accountability, they couldn't legally do business. The moment they tried to pull a permit, they'd be stopped, and yet they wouldn't even be approved. Second, homeowners would have a real resource. If a licensed contractor does bad work or defrauds you, you can file a complaint with the Texas Department of Licensing as well as regulation. The license itself, their license, can be suspended or revoked. So that is a consequence. Right now, guess what? There's not a consequence. So number 3, the industry overall would be elevated. Licensing raises the floor for everyone. It means the contractors who stay in business are the ones who actually know what they're doing. That's not a bad thing for competition. That's what competition is supposed to look like, and something that, honestly, as you know me, I'm all in favor of. Other skilled trades figured this out decades ago. Electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians, guess what? They're all licensed, they're accountable, and the industry is stronger for it. Roofing deserves the same standard, and I stand behind that. You see, the most recent push, it was like House Bill, I think 3344, it was in the 89th legislative session, would create a 2-year roofing contractor license through the TLDR. It would require a proof of insurance, establish a public online database, and create penalties for overall violations. RCAT overall supports it. The question is whether it will survive the same opposition that has killed every bill before it. So what can we do as contractors or homeowners? What can we do right now? What is something as far as an actionatory plan that we can put together to see success? So here is the practical side of this, because whether or not the legislator acts, you have a home to protect today, and that's your home, your number one asset. So when you're hiring a roofer in Texas, ask these questions, because these are golden questions to protect you. Number 1, are you insured? And if they are, get the certificate. Call the insurer to verify if it's active. Don't just take a piece of paper, especially in today's time. Ask them this question: are you an RCAT license or a member? It's not the only thing that matters, but guess what? It matters. A contractor who voluntarily sought accountability is telling you something about their overall character and the steps to do what's right. Are you manufacturer certified? That's a huge question. Companies like GAF, Owens Corning, and Malarkey have their own contractor programs that require training and installation standards. And that's independent verification of overall skill to assure that they know what they're doing and understand how to install. Can you give me local references? One of my favorite questions, not testimonials on the website, real names, real jobs, real phone numbers that you can call to hear about an overall customer experience. Ask them, are you registered with the state or overall the city? You see, because some municipalities in Texas, they require that the contractor register even if the state doesn't require it. So check for local rules, because that itself can protect you. Ask them this: will you pull a permit? A legitimate roofer will always pull a permit. A storm chaser will never pull a permit, because they don't want that record on the job and they don't want to be on the record. So the paper trail is your overall protection. In the state that doesn't require licensing, you have to create your own accountability structure. Get everything in writing, everything all of the time. So with that being said, you understand the overall spectrum of how Texas operates when it comes to overall licensing. So here's what I want to leave you with. You see, RCAT is a fantastic organization doing real work in an industry that desperately needs set standards. You see, when you see that credential of RCAT, it means something, but it is not a state license. It is not a guarantee, and it is not a substitute for doing your homework. The deeper problem isn't any individual organization. It is the fact that Texas, yes, Texas, the state, has left its homeowners exposed for decades and not doing anything about it. You see, while other states built systems to protect their citizens from roofing fraud, Texas kept voting those systems down, session after session, bill after bill. And you see, you deserve a roofer who had earned the right to stand on your home. Right now in Texas, they don't have to, and that needs to change. So if this video helps you understand the landscape, please share it. Send it to your neighbor, send it to your city council member, and the next time that a roofing bill comes up in this next session for Texas legislator, pay attention to who votes yes and who votes no. Because when the bill passes, Texas homeowners win. And the contractors who are already doing things the right way, well, guess what, guys? They win too. So it's important to understand the difference between other states and Texas. So guys, I'm Colt Mockley with Cool Roofs, and we'll see you on the next one.